All right, season 2, episode 10 of Top Producer Tuesday here with Jack Delaney. Jack's been in the business for 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
Jack is a dear friend of mine. Just a great human being. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, for everybody here. Learn a little bit more about Jack's story and where Jack kind of comes from. Saying that, Jack, tell us a little bit about your story from the beginning. Like, where did you grow up? Maybe early inspirations, things like that.
I mean, it's kind of ironic, right? Like, I'm sitting across the table from you talking about real estate, and like, how many conversations do we have about this before I kind of even, before this was even a thought, right? Like, you were always the guy I saw you running around. You helped a lot of my friends buy houses, and like, from an inspirational standpoint, I think, you had a lot to do with that. So, I mean,
go earlier than that.
Yeah, I'm going. I'll get there, but like, just pointing that out. Like,
I appreciate that.
Seriously, like, Nick has been. You seen that picture? Like, I feel like over the weekend they were doing a lot of the whole like Messi and like that other guy.
The Lamine Yamal.
Right,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? You're getting a little bit of that going on there. I don't think we have any baby pictures together, but probably a couple other funny ones. But I don't know, like, cut from the same cloth as a lot of people in here, right? Like, I grew up in Mayfair, Northeast Philly, did the whole thing. My dad worked at. My dad was a CO. He was the warden of CFCF for a good amount of time. My whole family's cops, firefighters. My mom worked in an office. Parents got divorced when I was maybe 4th grade, 5th grade, something like that. My mom was a single mom, worked a full-time job, put herself through nursing school. Never got the chance to finish that. The same old song and dance. Like, went to St. Matt's, went to Judge, did like 30 seconds of college. You know what I mean? And I always had this like,
story.
Yeah, and like I had every pipe dream that any kid from Northeast Philly has, right? It was like, I wanted the bartending gig, I wanted to go, get a union job, I wanted to do all that, and like how much money you had in your pocket, like at the bar on a Friday night determined how well you were doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was like my I say it a lot in my story, but like, that was my perception of like what a man was, right? And then bumped my head a couple times, and I had like a rude awakening at the age of 25. I pretty much, on those, like, all those things that I thought I wanted, I got, and then it was just like, yeah, this ain't it. You know what I mean?
All right, so 25, is that the time where you wind up like thinking like, I need to get sober? Is that that time period?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what's today's date? The 21st? Yeah, so like, I mean, full transparency, like, yeah, July 28th, 2016, I was down the shore at Echoes, and like, banging my head on the same wall, wound up in a precinct to some extent that like, you know what I mean? It was just the same old song and dance. I had to go home, explain why I was where I was at the time again. And then it was like, it was time for my life to kind of, it was up to me to make a change at some point. It was just like, when was it going to be, and I don't know, like that September I wound up.
What was like the low point? Like what was it that like made you like, all right, I got to do something else here?
I remember coming home that morning and like walking into my mom's house down the shore, and I remember getting there, and my mom's like the happiest person in the world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I would always wonder like why when I showed up to these places, my mom had this like look as if she saw a ghost or something, like scared to death. I'd be like, oh, like, why aren't you happy to see me? You know what I mean? And it was like times like this particular instance, like I walk home, you know what I mean? I get home that morning, I have to sit down with my mom and my stepdad, explain to them again, like, some foolish decisions that I made led me into certain predicaments. And I remember going into the bathroom like that morning and like looking at myself, and the things that happened the night before, I realized that like that's not who I am. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, these outside influences like turned me into this person that I just don't morally align with. You know what I mean? Yeah. I remember like looking myself in the mirror, like like in tears, like what, like, dude, like what are you doing? And I I don't know. From there, like, and that wasn't even enough, right? Like, I still had to do like another month of research because like I had this like Vegas trip planned, and I thought that was like you know what I mean?
Go
like,
out on top.
Yeah, you want to call it that? Sure. It was miserable, dude. Like, I went there and like, you know, we have pictures, and was it fun? It was fun for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was fun Friday night until, you know,
started looking in the mirror again.
Yeah, until the wheels started falling off, and then it's just like, hey, dude, I'm back to square one. Like, this stinks, you know?
So you get sober.
Yeah.
Does the union come in before or after that?
After. I worked at PGW before that. You know what I mean? Like, I had enough wits about me, and like opportunities presented themselves, right? Like I bartended, I got the bartender job. I did that whole song and dance. You know, I played bubblegum gangster for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I thought I was somebody that I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, turns out like I'm just some kid from Mayfair. Like, I'm not this, like, you know, John Gotti in Philadelphia. You know, like, I'm not. Like, let's face it. Like, I grew up in a good family. I was taught good morals. Like, I acted a certain way because like I thought that's what, like, you know, society wanted from me. You know what I mean? Like, bottom line, like, as honest as I could possibly be. And then I was always good enough at like keeping it together to some extent to get things. You know what I mean? Like, I had the union opportunity, and then I let one slip, and then, you know, I would get my shit together for a little bit, and then like the PGW thing came about, and I did that for a while. And, you know, the problem was, like, I was just still the same dude, just had a job. You know what I mean? And like, the fact of the matter was, like, I thought, like, if I had a 40-hour work week, right? Friday afternoon, you couldn't tell me. You know what I mean? I didn't care if I was still living at home, in mom's house, whatever the case. Like, if I went to work Monday to Friday and I did 40 plus hours, like, you couldn't tell me nothing. You know what I mean? And, you know, but like, I did that whole PGW thing. I got sober. I wound up getting in the union that February. So February 2016, I started with the steam fitters. And, you know, like I tell people all the time, like, I didn't really like, you know, not to make this about sobriety and everything like that, but, you know, it's a big part of my life and it's something I'm passionate about, you know what I mean? But like, I didn't like do the whole, I didn't plan on staying sober, you know? Like, I kind of stayed sober by default. Like, I learned real quick that all that stuff I was doing was a solution to a bigger problem that I had, and it was a lot of the perspective change, right? Like, if you walked in the Wawa at 5 o'clock in the morning and you had high vis on, like, I assumed that you were doing what I was doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's how distorted my reality was. Like, what a man was, right? Like, you go to work for 40 hours a week, you come home, as long as your bills are paid and everything seems all well and good, like, that's what a man did. Like, you're off to the races. Like, you couldn't tell me. And then I learned a lot. I learned a lot about who I am and who I want to become, like, you know, throughout sobriety and you know, and shameless plug, throughout Alcoholics Anonymous, honestly, like, yeah.
So you get into the union and you wind up doing pretty well with that. Yeah. Like, you wound up getting to the point where you were even like running for what, like a business agent kind of job in there? Or?
It was like an entry level. I was running for examining board, which is like an entry level position in politics within the union. And like, yeah, and it turns out, like, you know, you take all that other stuff out of the equation, like, turns out that, like, you know, pretty productive human being, right? And I don't know. The union was the best. Like, everybody, that's one thing I feel like everybody always gets twisted is like, yo, would you hate your job? Like, no, it was bang. You know, it was the most money I was going to make with the least amount of stress, right? Like, I say this all the time too. Like, I can beat the shit out of my body physically. You know what I mean? I go to CrossFit 6 days a week. I you know, push my body to limits that I never knew I could, right? My body will recover, right? I think your mind is a lot more of a battle to kind of keep, you know, intact and honestly healthy, right? Like, you know, you want to keep your body healthy, you keep it moving, right? Like, if you want to keep your mind healthy, like, you got to keep it stimulated to some extent. And like, you know, those are all things that like kind of aligned. And like with the whole politics thing, like that was kind of like the jumping point for me, you know, like I did that. I was 5 months out of my apprenticeship. And they had like, not like political parties, but like, it was like Team 420 and then like independents. And I was friendly with all the guys that were, you know, in office at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, like, you know what, dude, like, I really don't have anything to lose. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, you know? And I did. You know, I was up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. I remember I was working 2 to 11 o'clock or whatever it was. I was working like second shift at Thomas Jefferson. And I was up every morning going down to like Monroe Refinery, standing at the gate. Like, and if you walk through that gate, you had a sticker that said Jack Delaney for examining board, vote number 44 on the ballot, and like this, that, and the third. I went to every job site I possibly could. Anybody I knew that was working somewhere in the city, I showed up, I had coffee, whatever. I just did what I could to get my name out there. And, you know, I remember like that election, just like standing in it, like, you know, there's like you stand in front of the door, right? And it's just like a line of guys that are running for office. And like all these dudes are coming in to vote. And you're just standing there like, yo, what's going on, man? Like just doing the whole deal. You know what I mean? And I realized like I did that at a high level. You know what I mean? Like I didn't win that election either, you know, but it was a win for me, right? I think I put up like somewhere around like 415 votes or something like that. I was like just shy. I think I lost by like 20 or 30 votes or something for that position. But that was a win for me. You know what I mean? Like, and I took that and I ran with it.
So you're now like obviously super stable in your life at this point.
Yeah.
And you just decide, you know what, like I need to throw all the stability away and chase this real estate dream.
Yeah.
Why, how, like, I mean, that had to be like another, like, I don't know, mental battle to even get to that point.
Yeah. And like, you know, like I
literally
tear up thinking about it because like that whole thing, and like, I hate even talking about it because it's like, I feel like I beat the to death sometimes, but like, like that summer I ran for office that June. It was at June 7th of whatever it was. I think it was 23. Yeah, or 22. No, 22. It was June 7th of 22, and then my dad passed away like 2 weeks later, and you know, and like my old man was like on hospice, dude, sick as a dog, fighting cancer. Shows up to this union election, like full suit and tie, like the whole nine, like sweating his balls off. You know what I mean? And like shows up to this thing and, you know, my dad, and I say it a lot, like my dad was a sharp dude. Like he was extreme. If my dad walked into a room, he got everyone's attention. He knew how to do it, you know, and he was good at it, you know, and, I saw what his life looked like, right? I knew that he had this like untapped potential to whatever it was. And I saw it like eat at him on a daily basis. It was like, I know I'm meant for more. Like, not that his job was like thankless by any means, or like that he didn't have any pride in what he did, but it was more so like, I feel as if he knew he was capable of, you know, and he owed it to himself to go find out what he was made of at some point. I think that there was some, you know, life situations that happened along the line that kind of kept him on the conservative end of things. But like, I knew what my life was going to look like if I stayed, and I got a front row seat to it. And I was like, and if I go, yeah, I know it's going to be a little scarier, but like, you know, at this point in my life, like I had the.
You're making what in the union at that point? Like $140, $150?
Yeah. I mean, I was doing pretty good. You know what I mean?
So
like, over
for
6 figures.
Like,
yeah.
And you completely pulled the string too. Like you just left. The union.
Yeah,
I mean,
it kind of like
you did a little run with Remax. I know that when you were kind of doing both.
Yeah,
but then you and I had a conversation, and I remember telling you can't do this. You can't do this like part time. Just
you can't serve two masters.
Right.
Bottom line, right? Like if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Like that was the whole deal, right? Yeah, like all that stuff was scary, right? Like yeah, like pull the plug, right? And I didn't like walk in there and quit, right? It was just kind of like stars aligned a little bit. I was working for a company. They were getting kind of slow. The dude was trying to keep me around, and I was just like, you know what, dude? I was flipping a house at the time, and I was like, the stars are kind of aligning here for me to kind of make this jump. And, you know, I knew work was slow, so I was like, let me give it 6 months. Let me see if I can make it a year. Like anything else, like I got my public adjuster's license. I was running around doing that for however long, you know what I mean? Like
you took all like 9 jobs at once.
It was, yeah. And it was just like cash flow, right? Like it was just like, all right, like let me do this until I build this. And then it was more so like I had a client that I was kind of working with. And, that was, that was like May of 24, right? And then, I don't know. That was kind of when I was like, the public adjustment shit just didn't align with me morally, right? And there's a lot of good guys out there that do a lot of good work and they help a lot of homeowners, but like it just wasn't aligned with like where I was at with my life and like what I wanted to be. The real estate thing, like I said, I had a client, we closed on a deal. I was at Remax. I left there. I got linked up with these dudes from TCS that June. And then that's kind of when I was like, it's all or nothing. Like, I don't want to, you know, like you said, I'm either going to do this or I'm not. So now it's time to figure it out.
So really, your real estate career started in June 2024.
Yeah.
It's now July 2026, and you were sitting here as a top producer. I showed you this little chart that I screenshotted to show Jack's career, and I don't know if you can see that, but like that to me is like the epitome of Jack Delaney right there, essentially going to the moon there. And I saw that in you from like day one. Like, you reached out, had a question, I couldn't wait to help you. Not everybody did that for me. So like one of the things I wanted to do in this field is do that. You have closed now in the last 12 months, 26 deals for going on $15 million, which is wild. You had a huge shift when you got here. What would you attribute that to? Please do not mention my name. Just talk about, for real. No, there's other people in this building that deserve tons of flowers, and you sat in that bullpen and worked your tail off. And to be honest with you, I was in that office 2 days a week. So what was the big change that happened when you got to Rarity?
I mean, I think I'll talk about Rarity, but I'll talk about how I got here before that, right? Like, how many conversations do we have prior to me like getting into real estate?
A lot. Yeah.
Right. How many times did I ask like you about like a team or anything like that? You know what I mean? You were kind of like, dude, I just like doing my thing. I'm a solo guy.
Yeah.
Right. When I saw you down at that tailgate, and when we kind of had the conversation, and you were like, dude, like, you got to check this place out. Like, I mean, evidence, right? Like, that's kind of what was like, what's up here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was huge for me, because like prior to that, like, dude, I sat down with Jim when right as he was starting Jim Roach Real Estate.
Yeah, like
5 years
ago,
yeah,
right?
at that point, yeah, something like that. And I remember sitting down with him and Capella down at Empower when they were up in that office. And you know, at that point, like, I was still like I had 6 months left of my apprenticeship, and I was like, I'm not ready to jump and do this full time right now. Like I just spent 4.5 years of my life, you know, slaving over these stupid drawings on a weekly basis for homework and things like that. Like, I knew I had to get my book, right? And but like, after seeing you and having those conversations, like, I knew something was special here. I knew a couple other guys coming in. I mean, I say Phil all the time. Like, Phil was a huge part of the reason. Like, I walked in here and I saw this office full of guys that were just like hammering the phone on a daily basis, and like that fired me up. You know, I was just like, this is what's up. You know, like, it was like the Wolf of Wall Street of real estate. Like him, Jagani, Cleary. Like, you know, I saw that and it was attractive, right? And it was like, they say it all the time, like, you know, attraction, not promotion, right? Like, no one really like came and like, you know, was like, nah. It was just like, nah, come check out what we got going on. And I walked in here and like, that's what it was, you know? And I don't know, like, and don't get it twisted. Like, the first couple months, like, I'm here, I'm like, you know what I mean? Who going? I'm going. You know what I mean? I'm calling the industrial space, like, out in Harrisburg. I'm leaving people voicemails saying in the middle of them, like, you know, and hanging up the phone, like, I hope I never get a phone call from this person ever again. You know what I mean? Like so out of my mind. And it was like, but it was the energy, and it was the people, and it was all that. You know what I mean? It was really just like contagious it was contagious, not for the most part, not for anything else. It was contagious. Like, that's what drew me in here. And then, like, you know, like Jim, like, I want to say this because like, I want to tread lightly, but like, let's put it this way. This isn't my first stop, right? Jim is here all the time.
All the time.
All the time. In the office.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that says something. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's like the dudes who got like 40 years sober still going to meetings. You know what I'm saying? Like, right, still showing up, still doing the deal, like still wanting the best out of the people that he's surrounding himself with. And like, I see big value in that. You know what I mean? And like, that's a team I'm trying to be on. Like, that's what I'm trying to get behind. You know what I mean? And like I say it all the time, like, I'm confident enough to know, like, the numbers are great and all. Like, that's cool. But like, I'm confident enough to know I'll be successful, humble enough to know I'm going to need some help along the way. Right? It's been my approach to this since day one. Like, I don't know it all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Like, I don't know if I ever will. But like, there was so much knowledge in this room. There was so much knowledge in this office, and people like that lead by example. You know what I mean?
What has started to click over the last, now it looks like 12 months, but I think like I've seen like a real click, like I would say like fall of last year, where it really started to feel like you were started to really catch your stride there.
Yeah.
Did you feel like something, like, was it confidence? Was it just time and reps? Or,
to be honest, dude, like, I wish I was good at the whole CRM thing, bro. You know what I mean? I wish I was good at, like, you know, the Sky Michaels, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to send all these things out. We're going to get this many touches. Like, I hear that and like, I get anxiety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not my twist. Being here, I've been blessed enough to be, you know, given a like opportunity to kind of show up and learn. You know what I mean? And I did so to the best of my ability. And like, I attest, I stopped overcomplicating it, and I just started doing that I like to do. You know what I mean? Like, I go to the gym. I try to make real, genuine connections. I'm not here to sell you nothing. Like, I don't give a shit. You know, and not saying that like I don't give a shit about my business, but like, I'm not here to force myself on anybody. You know, and I feel like I've seen a lot of that. And I felt like there was a certain point where I was like trying to force myself into a certain way or a certain thing. And it's like, dude, just be you. You know what I mean? Like, lean into who you are. Like, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. You know, like you say it all the time. Some guys are good on the phone. Some guys are good here. Like Colin was saying last time, like, he was good in front of people, right? And like, that's where I do best. Like, I do best in front of people, you know, and I just stopped overcomplicating it. I did that. You know, I try to show up to places and meet new people, do new things. And, you know, by default, like, business just started to happen. Like, things started to work out. And like, you know, we could talk about that AC deal. Like, that was nuts, you know, like, but yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I guess for the most part, like, what clicked, like, I surrendered to the outcome. You know what I mean? Surrender to the outcome. I show up and I try to be the best I can every day and surrender to any outcome that happens, right? Like, nothing can shake my peace. And that's not perfect. I don't wake up, you know, very, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, I try, right? And I think that, you know,
it feels like your personal development also hit like a new level in the last like 9 months as well.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that kind of has like gone side by side. Like, what, I guess, like, I'm trying to find like whatever that secret, like whatever you think it is that like kind of clicked.
Consistency and doing.
But you just decided that this is a decision?
Decided.
Like,
if I don't like this, like, just like I decided, like, I wanted to stop drinking or I wanted to change my life, right? Like, all this stuff is a decision, right? I make a decision to wake up every morning, every day, and read the Stoic, right? I try to incorporate those things into my life. It's one thing to do. It's another thing to, and I say this, like, my dad was always like a big do as I say, not as I do, dude, right? That travels nowhere. Right. That travels for about 30 seconds. Right. And it's the same in here. Right. Like, you can tell me to come in the office all you want. Right. Like, Jim, he's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm going to be here. You know, like, lead by example. Like, the people that were coming in here, lead by example. Like, show up and do those things. So it was like, all right, if I had to draw this version of Jack Delaney on a sheet of paper, right, like, what does he look like? You know, and I really just stopped overcomplicating it. Like,
did you actually do that exercise?
Like Jack Delaney, Irish Catholic kid from Philadelphia. I want to be in shape. I want to be, I want to be faith driven, not fear driven, right? Like, all these things. Like, I want to be sober, right? right? Like, all right, so what am I doing on a daily? I want to be a good real estate agent.
Yeah.
What am I doing on a daily basis to check all those boxes? Right? I get up, I read the stock. Right? I send it to the morning group text every morning. Right? Like, if somebody calls me and needs help, like, I try to help them.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. Like, and if I do those things on a daily basis and I get better, then fact of the matter is, like, I show up better. You know? Like, that's really it. You know, I do some reading at night and I reflect on things, and, you know, like, I shared this a bunch. Like, there's one quote that I've read that, like, has stuck with me so hard, and I don't know where I would put it, but it, like, would be like
Tattoo it somewhere.
yeah, right. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
You got any room?
Tattoo it somewhere. I got plenty of room, but like where I put it. But it was suffering produces endurance. Endurance produces character, and character produces hope. Right? I'll run through a wall right now.
You're essentially taking.
Yeah.
You're taking like solace in being uncomfortable, and
it's the only way.
Yeah.
It's the only way, and that's why I said earlier. Like, the physical.
You're almost
stuff,
getting off on that now.
right? Like the physical stuff. Like, you can eat enough protein, right? You can take enough creatine. Right? I can stretch enough. I can take care of my body enough where, like, I'll go to the gym, I won't be sore the next day. Right? Like, how am I taking care of my mind? Right? Like, how am I taking care of my, like, you know?
Yeah.
What matters? You know what I mean? Like, all that other it's all well and good aesthetically and, like, physically, but, like, mentally, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, I could get on my knees every night and pray and say I have some half relationship with God, but, like, you know, what action am I putting in? You know, like, it comes down to that. Like, action. What action am I taking?
All right. I think we're going to go through a lightning round, and we're going to open it up to the crowd.
Lightning round me up.
All right. Let me see what I got here. All right. Where are we at? Let's do this. Let's go buyers or sellers.
Oof. As of late, I had a couple good buyers lately, so I'll go with a good buyer.
You're more appreciative, don't you think?
There's no better feeling, like I say all the time, there's no better feeling than, like, standing in the backyard somewhere and, like, looking at these people's eyes light up, like, oh my God, like, this is my house.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
I agree.
That's
way better than
and
selling
honestly,
any house.
honestly, like, I would have, you know, at one point, like, that answer might have been different 6-7 months ago, but, like, a couple experiences I had as of late, you know.
Well, this would be good then, commercial or resi. Because I know you were Mr. Commercial there for a second, but you don't get that feeling, I don't think.
I did, well, no, I won't say that, because I did, like, that AC deal, like, delivering that check to that man, like, that was some of the most gratifying I ever got to do. You know what I mean? I'll say this, like, I like the commercial conversation better. I enjoy the emotional.
Make sure you remember the whole AC deal, too.
I do. No, I do. Bro, I do.
All right, ready?
Like, yeah.
10 Port Richmond deals or one same exact AC deal.
I'll take that AC deal all day. I'll take that AC deal all day.
All right. Tea time at National or a 6-foot wave on the boogie board?
Oh, wow. 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 6-foot clean wave on the boogie board, dude. On the body board, we'll say that. I'll say this, and this might surprise you, but there's not a feeling on the planet, like, better than, like, the sun hitting the ocean. Like, this wall of glass in front of you, and, like, you're just, like, hauling on Mother Nature. Like, it's phenomenal, dude. It's spiritual. It's incredible.
I love that.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the 6 foot.
I got one more, and then it's open to the crowd. Liz or Allison?
That's crazy.
You don't have to answer. That's crazy. It's Liz's birthday.
Liz's birthday. Liz's birthday. But it's Liz's birthday, and I had to bite on both lungs.
There you
so
go.
They're a duo.
This is the perfect politician answer.
Yeah.